Hello, this is Michael Williams here today, talking about the power of using introductory words, phrases, and sounds. And not just using any old introductory words, phrases, and sounds, but natural introductory words, phrases, and sounds. Why is this so powerful? Well, I want to encourage you to check out the 7 Steps series. And I believe this is going to be in step 3. So if you haven't had a chance to do so, go ahead and visit my website at pro90d.com, and you'll see something on there to get into the 7 Steps series. But the importance of using introductory words, phrases, and sounds, natural introductory words, phrases, and sounds, is this. It's a natural way to get your airflow going. So if you struggle, right, this is for people that struggle with getting started, either just at the very beginning of a conversation or while you're speaking. So for many people, they struggle to introduce themselves, to say their names, or to say anything, right? You might want to ask a question. What time is it? Where is this? Or how is this person doing this? How are you doing? How's that project coming along? What time are we going to meet, right? Where's the bathroom? Whatever the question is, often people have a challenge getting started saying that. Also, when someone asks them their name, right? Challenge saying that. So one of the things that people do all the time is they use a naturally sounding introductory word, phrase, or sound. And I'm not encouraging you to do this all the time or encouraging you to do this loudly. And I'll give you an example, but it's extremely powerful and it's extremely natural. So often what happens with people who struggle with their speech is they become fixated on their speech and on not being able to say something. They get stuck. They say, okay, I want to say this and I can't say it and I'm stuck. And then they even become anxious thinking about having to introduce themselves or ask. So as soon as they want to ask a question, start feeling kind of anxious. So what you want to do is shift your focus away from your own speech. Your intent is to ask a question. Your intent is not to necessarily use certain words. The vast majority of the times, you don't have to use certain words at a certain time. You want to ask, what time are we going to lunch, right? And so a couple of different ways that you could do that. If you become aware that the what is not going to come out, you could simply say something like, so what time are we going to lunch today, right? And here's what I want you to see. And you may say, oh no, I just want to be able to say, well, you will be able to say it. But first you have to kind of trick your brain. Your brain has created a memory. In fact, I'm about to do an entire series on how to retrain your brain to stop stuttering and confidently say what you want to say, how to retrain your brain. We're going to get into some of the science. I'm going to just prove to you scientifically that you can change the way you speak. So what happens is when you become fixated on saying something a certain way and your memories that you got stuck on saying it that certain way at that certain time, I'm going to order coffee. I'm already becoming anxious. They're going to ask me my name. I'm not going to be able to say it. Your brain has created that memory, that pattern. So just before you get there, you're already anticipating that you're going to get stuck. So what happens? You generally get stuck. So you have to trick your brain. You have to trick your brain into creating a new pattern, a new memory, right? And one of the ways you do it is it's like running your head into a brick wall. Okay, I just want to be able to say my name. I just want to be able to ask this question. So I'm just going to just come right at it, just run right into it every time. You're going to get stuck every single time. What you have to do is say it differently. Say it differently. Uh, Often that means adding a word or a sound in front of it. Sometimes it means changing the style in which you say it, which might include modulating your voice, inflecting it a little higher. It could include extending the word, right? Changing the style. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to simply add a word or a little sound in front of what you want to say. And once you begin to do this, now this is the important part. I want you to look at the strategy, right? Look at the strategy, not just the technique, but the long-term strategy. Remember, the long-term strategy is to get you to the place where you're not thinking about the mechanics of speaking, where you are simply focused on the intent of your speech, right? The intent of your speech was to communicate, okay? You're speaking to communicate a message, an idea, content to someone else. So the whole goal, the long-term goal, is for you to be focused on communicating your intent to other people, your message, your content, and making sure that they get it, that they understand it, right? That they're following it. It's nothing to do with you and how you're speaking and thinking about getting stuck and all of that. We want to totally shift your thoughts away from that. Strategically, how we do that, though, to get you there, is to have you use certain techniques to make speaking easier, because the easier speech becomes and the less you focus on the mechanics of speaking, in a sense, right? The less you focus on getting stuck and all of that, the easier speech becomes. The easier speech becomes, the less your brain focuses on it. The less your brain focuses on it, the more natural it becomes. The more you start thinking about the intent of your communication. Does this make sense? So, for example, let's just say you want to ask, again, what time are we going to lunch? So what time are we going to lunch? Just throw a little so, quiet, and say, so, I said, so what time are we going to lunch? And I say that, right? So every time I want to ask God, what time are we going to lunch? I say, so what time are we going to lunch? So how's John doing? Or so what? And what begins to happen is now I'm not thinking about, well, I can't get this out, because I can get it out every time. Just add a little so in front of it. Or I might say, believe it or not, this sounds totally natural, totally natural. I might say, and what time are we going to lunch today? Right. So I just added a little and. I stretched the and out. You may think it sounds strange, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. You might say, what time are we going to lunch? And so I just threw in a little So someone says, what do you want to order? Oh, wow, let's see. I think I want to get this. Right. I think I want to get. So you're just using little introductory sounds and words. People do it all the time. What you don't want to do is get into the habit of before every sentence, every phrase, or like, right? But to throw in, to use a little introductory sound or word occasionally to get yourself started, to get the air flowing, is perfectly natural. It's perfectly fine. In fact, strategically, you should do it. You absolutely should do it. Again, remember, the long term is to shift your brain away from being fixated on the word that you want to say at that time, which you can't say. So there's no need to try to run your head into the brick wall and try to push it out. You simply go around it. By going around it, I don't mean substituting, that is, saying it a completely different way. No, you're going to say exactly what you want to say. You're just going to throw a little word or sound in front of it. And as you do that, as speech gets easier, then you stop thinking about speaking. So then you want to say, what time are we going to work? You just say, what time are we going to work? Because you're not thinking about it anymore. It just comes out. Someone asks you your name, Michael Williams, right? So what's your name? Sure, my name is Michael Williams. Sure, it's Michael Williams. Name is Michael Williams. My name is Michael. So then after a while, you start thinking about it. Someone says, and your name, sir? Michael Williams. And it just comes out because you're not thinking it. You're not fixated on it, because you've created this new memory of being able to speak easier, speak freely. Does this make sense? Well, some of you watching this may reject this idea, and that's okay. Just try something else, right? And if it works for you, great. I'm just telling you that this works and that it's very natural. And if you listen to the people around you, you'll find that they do it also. And they don't consider themselves stutterers. It's just how they speak. So again, let me reiterate a couple of things. I'm not suggesting that you, in a pronounced way, so, right? So, where it's like strange and where it stands out. What I am suggesting is that you find a group or a set or variety of introductory words and sounds. The ones that I suggest are words like so, and, well, an occasional or quiet, a quiet or not a loud one. And you use those words, phrases, and sounds. Sure, my name is, my first name is. Let's see, well, right. Introductory words, phrases, and sounds, natural. And you employ them to get the air flowing. We want to make speaking easier for you. The easier it becomes, the less your brain fixates on it. The less your brain fixates on it, the more you begin to shift your focus to the intent, the content, the communication. Once that happens, and once you start creating more and more successful speaking experiences, then you stop thinking about speaking, you stop thinking about the mechanics of speaking, you stop thinking about getting stuck. And what happens is then you begin to say whatever you want to say, whenever you want to say it, because you're no longer thinking of yourself as a stutterer. You're no longer focused on trying to not stutter. Hope I don't get stuck. Anticipating. You stop doing all that stuff. So it's a strategic way to create new, positive, successful memories of you speaking. I hope this makes sense. I'd love to hear or see any questions that you have for me. If you don't have any now, feel free to leave your comments on the video. And if you have questions, then feel free to leave your questions there as well. Okay. So I want to go ahead and invite those of you who might be watching this and who need an extra bit of accountability, evaluation, feedback, encouragement, to contact me. Visit my website. There should be a link there. And let's have a conversation about how we can work together. You want to contact me if you're a professional and you want to accelerate your progress. That is, maybe you've been working on your own. Maybe you've been watching my videos, doing my free stuff, taking even the self-study course, and you've gotten to a certain point, but you're stuck and you need to accelerate this. So you're professional or you're professionally minded. You're willing to invest time and effort, right? This isn't a fast process, although you can start experiencing significant results in 1, 2, and 3 weeks. I mean, things can really turn around for you. I just got story after story of this happening. So you're willing to invest time and you're willing to invest money. So if you're a student, if you're a high school student and you can't invest any money into your speech, then I encourage you to take advantage of my free stuff. And if you get in there and you use it and you do it, you're going to experience results. But for those of you that are professionals and you want to invest something back into yourself that you're going to get a return on, how? You're going to get a return through your promotions. You're going to get a return on getting better jobs and so forth and so on. Then go ahead and check out the coaching link on my page, set an appointment, and let's talk. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this. Hope it was helpful. Look forward to talking with you soon. This is Mike Williams.